need more money, connections, associations, and what you would call a relaxed mind? Have you ever wondered why some folks are regarded as high flyers and successful people with results to show? You know the names. It's been found out that the difference between these high flyers and successful people is mindsets and how they think. Welcome to Baseline Beats with Benga. Here is this week's episode.
Growing up, I heard a lot of fables and tales about animals. The tortoise was usually a constant cast in several of such tales. Do you remember the tale of the hare and the tortoise? Well, ever heard the tale of the hare and the tortoise? Even if you have heard about the tale and or can remember the tale, I'll do the honors of telling it again. If you haven't, you're captured in this. Pay attention. A long time ago, there was a hare who wouldn't stop teasing the tortoise for his slowness. I am the fastest runner in the woods, and you are the slowest one. We should compete, he jeered. One day, the tortoise, tired of the hare showing off, agreed to have a running competition. You may be fast, but I am persistent, he said. The next day, the tortoise and the hare stood at the start, ready for the race. 1, 2, 3, go, said the hare, and they started running. The hare was a long way in front of the tortoise when he saw a field of cabbages. He looked back and almost couldn't see the tortoise. "Take your time," he shouted to the tortoise. "I'll have a snack here and still I'll win the race." When he had finished his breakfast, the hare looked around to see how far the tortoise had got. He still hadn't passed halfway. Feeling sleepy after his snack, the hare thought to himself, "I will have a quick snooze now, and when I wake up, I will quickly run past the finish line." He fell into a deep sleep and dreamed of winning the competition. Time passed, and the sun was already setting when the hare woke up. He jumped and looked around to see the tortoise a few steps from the finish line. The hare rushed towards the finish line as fast as he could, but the tortoise was already crossing it, winning the competition. "You don't always have to be the fastest to win," the tortoise told the hare, who was sobbing in disgrace. Well, that's the story. I trust that it's joggled the memory of those who have heard it before. Well, why did I tell this tale? I'll get into those. Not forgotten my introductions. I am Benga. Thanks for joining me for today's episode. I know most people link the tale I shared with overconfidence, and that's not wrong. But that's not the angle I want you to see this from. Hillary Clinton, an American politician, a former First Lady and later Secretary of State, said, "Don't confuse having a career with having a life." How about this? Andrew Wilkinson, an Australia-born Canadian politician, said, "You don't have to make yourself miserable to be successful. It's natural to look back and mythologize the long nights and manic moments of genius. But success isn't about working hard. It's about working smart." Well, to put in context from me, working smart doesn't mean working lazy or not working at all. It just means there has to be mental exertion. My focus today is about work-life balance. What is it? And how does it work? We'll get into those after this music break. Loniskolobo by Jesse King. You'd find this fun to listen to. Don't go anywhere.
Ekushalawa. Arumisa legbe.
Loniskolobo. Loni wem wem. Loniskolobo. Loni wem wem.
Máṣe fàájì ara mi. Mi ò lè wá kú. Mi ò lè wá kú. Mi ò lè rárá mi. Mo ti gbìyànjú. Mo ti ṣe wọ́n mo lè ṣe. Àlùbáríkà. àlùbáríkà àlùbáríkà ní kókó. Ẹ má mílíkì ẹ má mílíkì ẹ má mílíkì skolobo.
Loniskolobo, loni wemwem. Loniskolobo, loni wemwem.
Má ṣe fàájì má ṣe fàájì ara mi. Mi ò lè wá kú mi ò lè wá kú mi ò lè para mi. Mo ti gbìyànjú mo ti gbìyànjú mo ti ṣe wọ̀n mo lè ṣe. Àlùbáríkà 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 ní kókó. Ẹ má mílíkì ẹ má mílíkì ẹ má mílíkì skolobo. Àwa la lè kó àwa la lè kó èkó ní bàjẹ́ o. Àwa la lè kó láwa la lè kó.
I hope you enjoyed that. To translate the line and give you an idea of the song, Jesse King made reference to how he had done all he could do, meaning he had worked hard. So he'd also relax and enjoy. Work-life balance. So then, what is it? Work-life balance is simply a state of equilibrium where a person equally prioritizes the demands of one's career and the demands of one's personal life. Pay attention. The key to the definition I just gave is the fact that there has to be equal prioritization of demands of career and demands of personal life. The saying goes that all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. Well, you can't replace Jack in there with your name. There are some reasons that lead to a poor work-life balance. They include, but are not limited to, increased responsibilities at work, working long hours, increased responsibilities at home, having children, and several other reasons. And like I did mention, these reasons are not exhaustive. Now, here's the thing. If there is no adequate work-life balance, you'd realize that for some reason, your attention will be towards those issues that seem to be attention grabbing. Interesting to put it right there. Let me paint a picture here. You find that at work, your responsibilities have increased and you must deliver on your deliverables. But you'd find that if there are no boundaries set to ensure that adequate work-life balance, some things would suffer for the others. For what it's worth, your family needs you. Your colleagues at work need you. Several other people need you. But the key is there has to be a balance. And you find that for some people, the way it happens for them is that there is more attention towards certain aspects of their life. For instance, they give more attention to work and career and responsibilities at such places. For some others, and this might also sound pretty odd, for them, they give more attention to family and the things that have to do with raising children, and career and work suffers. You see, there has to be a balance between work and life. If you are a workaholic like I am, the tendency is to get carried away and devote a large chunk, if not all of your time to work. The negative side is family suffers and you go to meet them at home every single day. So you find that sometimes a man or woman comes home at the end of a typical work day and the husband or the wife is suffering from the negative effect of inadequate work-life balance, and they're bottling up emotions due to not having attention given to them by their partner. And because at the end of each typical day, for what it's worth, you should retire back home and go to meet these people. And so you don't get to enjoy that time that you should spend with them at home because you are not practicing an adequate work work-life balance. So then, how do you ensure a good work-life balance? Number 1, prioritize and reprioritize often. First things first, your ideal work-life balance may not be the same as your co-workers or your friends. Personalities differ and priorities also differ. You can't say the priorities you set for yourself 2 years ago are the same you had as 5 years ago or even now. You'd have to evaluate these priorities time and time again. And don't be afraid to do this as often and as the occasions demand. And to harp again on the fact that paths to each person differs, and you cannot run comparisons with yourself and those who are your friends or your colleagues and several other people of such stature and magnitude. Running their race or using them as yardstick to want to set your own priorities is setting yourself up for failure and you not owning your life the way you should. Let's move on. Number 2, set your work-life boundaries firmly. Now, this can be a difficult and daunting task, especially for people early in their careers. But truth be told, you have to establish these boundaries early on and stick to them. Let it be known that emails won't be answered over the weekend if this is what it has to take. If your job requires that you are available for emergencies, put the onus on whoever is in charge or your superior to call you if there is an issue that really cannot wait until the next business day. If these boundaries are not set, what will happen most times is that you get taken for granted and then you'd find that you'd have to answer almost every call, every email that you receive. And why is that? You have not set the boundaries firmly for you to observe them. Number 3, be consistent. And here's another hard point. Consistency is very key to maintaining a good work-life balance. Don't violate the boundaries you have set, but if you have, respectfully yet firmly re-establish them. If you need to switch off your phones or put them on silent while going to bed, ensure you do. No matter how many times you say you are offline on the weekends, if you spend your Saturday afternoons answering emails, you are sending the message that weekend emails are fair game. Well, take this home. If you slumber collapse on the job because you refuse to rest, the job will continue without you. That is the moral you can draw from the hair. He was overconfident, yes, but how about adequate rest? Recall that he fell sleepy. And that's what it is. Set the boundaries. I said that in the previous point, but be consistent with keeping to them. Finally, number 4, find time every day to unplug or to relax. Make sure you have time every day to be completely offline. You know, I feel for those who think they have to reply to every message or answer every single call. That's not good enough and could be damaging. Find time to center on yourself, read, listen to music, watch movies. Basically, do what you need to do to decompress. For me, it's playing games. I enjoy playing games. And when I can, and I create time for this, I also get to watch movies when I can. But if I have to make a choice between playing games and watching movies, playing games always come first. To wrap these up, Evan Williams, an American technology entrepreneur who is the co-founder of several technology companies, including a social media giant, said, "Take care of yourself. When you don't sleep, eat crap, don't exercise, and are living off adrenaline for too long, your performance suffers, your decisions suffer, your company suffers. Love those close to you. Failure of your company is not failure in life. Failure in your relationship is." Powerful words there. Put these to use that benefit you immensely. As usual, I cherish your feedbacks, questions, concerns, and success stories. Share them with me via social media at Ben_Ulugbenga. Enjoy the day.
Baseline Beats with Benga is a wrap for this week. For questions, concerns, and feedback, reach him on Twitter and Instagram at Ben_Ulugbenga. Until Baseline Beats with Benga comes away again next week, keep winning and enjoy the rest of the week.